Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, strange things, and that means celebrations will be flooded with green beer, which ends up a pretty frightening sight at 2 a.m. But what if I told you there was an even more terrifying flood of beer in history? One which no pot of gold or Irish luck could have prevented. So launch it today on Cool Stuff, Strange Things. On October 17th, 1814, the Horse Shoe Brewery suffered a strange accident, causing a flood of beer, yes, beer, to rush through the streets of London and claim the lives of at least 8 people. Located in the St. Giles Rookery neighborhood, the modern for the time brewery featured the latest in technology, including a wooden fermentation tank that was 22 feet high and held the equivalent of anywhere from 3,500 to 18,000 barrels of brown porter ale. While such a gigantic wooden container might seem like a disaster waiting to happen to us, the beer makers apparently had no fear at all of a major mishap, though they probably should have. The tanks were simply held together by iron rings, and when one broke on that fateful day in 1814, it didn't take long for the entire contraption to breach with such force that it destroyed all of the other vats and exploded through the back wall of the brewery. More than 320,000 gallons of beer rushed through the streets of London, creating a wave of dark golden liquid that was a staggering 15 feet high. Mother and daughter, Mary and Hannah Banfield, died instantly when the flood hit their home while the pair were having tea. And a teenage barmaid named Eleanor Cooper was killed when she was trapped in a collapsed pub. 3-year-old Sarah Bates was swept away by the current, and in a nearby basement, 4 people attending a wake perished when the flood tore through the home, creating unimaginable damage and resulting in loss of life. On top of leaving the area smelling like ale for a few months following the disaster, the brewery was taken to court. However, the tragedy was eventually ruled an unavoidable act of God, and no one was punished. The company was even compensated for the damage. In 1922, 108 years after the flood, the Horse Shoe Brewery was torn down, and in its place, the Dominion Theater was erected. And while it might be the site of plenty of fictional plays and unique performances today, perhaps none will ever be as strange as the historical London beer flood of 1814. Speaking of strange, St. Patrick's Day is the one time a year that we willingly chug green fermented liquids. Believe it or not, green beer was created by a doctor, Dr. Thomas Curtin, a coroner's physician and eye surgeon. Is this green enough? He first colored beer for a St. Patty's Day party in the Bronx, I don't know where I was going, in 1914 by using blue wash, an iron powder used for whitening clothes, to color his libations. Seems safe? Well, anything could be safer than today's episode of Cool Stuff, Strange Things.